My name is Alec, and I've just decided to completely change my life. Bought a piece of land where I'm going to build a house for myself and my son. On this channel, I'll show you the entire process of building a wooden house, talk about the costs, and share the challenges I'll face along the way. I hope these videos will inspire someone else to follow an equally crazy dream. The big day has finally arrived. Today I'm going to pour concrete for the very first time in my life. That doesn't mean I've never seen concrete before. Quite the opposite. When I was a teenager, I used to help my grandfather pour concrete for fence footings, a patio, or the path around the house. But we always did it the old-fashioned way, mixing cement, sand, and water by hand in a wheelbarrow with a shovel, then throwing it into the prepared trench. This time, however, I ordered ready-mix concrete straight from the batching plant, delivered fresh and ready to pour. Before the trucks arrive, there's still plenty to prepare. I asked every available friend to come and help because, to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing. But if none of us really knows what we're doing, maybe together we'll figure it out. While Sławek packs soil around the formwork, I'm busy doing the math. I need to calculate exactly how much concrete to order. I used the formulas for the volume of a rectangular prism, a times B times H, and a cylinder, PIR squared times H. I had to count every hole, measure the depth of each one, because no two were exactly the same, and calculate the volume of all the footings. The calculations themselves aren't particularly difficult, but there are so many of them that they require real concentration. Before the concrete arrives, I need to make one final check that the string lines marking the exact position and height of the post brackets are perfectly aligned. Marcin takes care of that. It's always better to have someone else double-check your work while there's still time to make corrections. A good inspector never shows mercy. Even my brother Radek came to help. All hands on deck. Finally, the concrete pump arrives. It's an impressive piece of machinery with a reach of more than 28 meters, so reaching every single footing won't be a problem. The pump operator suggests screwing the tops of the formwork together to prevent the concrete pressure from pushing the boards apart. Then the first concrete truck rolls in. 9 cubic meters of concrete. The truck pours into the pump. The pump forces the concrete through the delivery hose, and I, being the host, have the honor of filling every single hole myself. Now everything has to happen fast. One person pours the concrete, another compacts it with a concrete vibrator, a third uses a pneumatic hammer, while the fourth makes sure none of the holes runs short of concrete. Whenever necessary, he simply transfers some from the footings that have a little too much. Luckily, I had the idea of bringing the pneumatic hammer. At one point, the concrete vibrator gave up, and we had to compact the remaining footings using only the hammer. Fortunately, most of them had already been properly vibrated before the breakdown. The leftover concrete was poured under the garage. A lot of soil will eventually be added there anyway, so I figured a little extra crushed concrete certainly wouldn't hurt. In total, 2 concrete mixer trucks delivered more than 14 cubic meters of C20/25 concrete. Everything went smoothly and surprisingly quickly. The whole pouring operation took less than 40 minutes. For a team of complete beginners, I think we did a pretty good job. One of my friends placed a blessed medal of Our Lady from Niepokalanov into one of the corner footings. I hope she watches over everyone who helps build this house, and everyone who will one day live here. Since I only had one trowel, there wasn't much point in trying to split the job between us. So I grabbed the camera instead and filmed the endlessly patient Swaweg. From this point on, the work is mostly about waiting. Concrete needs around 21 days to fully cure, but the piers have to be watered every day. The inside is still wet while the surface has already hardened, and if it dries too quickly, cracks can form. Keeping it moist helps the concrete cure evenly. So now I drive to the site just to water my concrete. Not exactly the glamorous part of home building. After 3 days, I started removing the formwork. It's better not to wait until the concrete has fully cured because the boards become much harder to separate from its footings. Even though this stage goes much faster than building the forms, it's not as easy as it looks. Removing every single piece took a fair amount of effort. Still, I have to admit that my method worked. The formwork skirts sealed the concrete well, but they need to be packed properly with soil. Wherever there wasn't enough soil, you could see the concrete pushing the forms outward. Luckily, there were 4 of us on site. As soon as we noticed a cardboard tube starting to move, we corrected its position immediately. The boards anchored into the ground also held up surprisingly well. Before I knew it, August 1st had arrived, a very important day in Warsaw. Together with our families and our children's friends, we went to commemorate another anniversary of the Warsaw Uprising. Here's a very short history lesson. On August 1st, 1944, as the Soviet army approached Warsaw while driving the Germans westward, the Polish Home Army, the largest underground resistance movement in occupied Europe, launched the Warsaw Uprising. Their goal was to liberate the city before Soviet forces entered it and to prevent the Germans from turning Warsaw into a battlefield. Instead of advancing, Stalin stopped his army on the eastern bank of the Vistula River. After 63 days, the uprising came to an end. Those who survived were sent to German concentration camps, while the Germans systematically destroyed the city. Today, Warsaw may not be the oldest or most beautiful city in Europe, but it has risen again, modern, vibrant, and full of life, and its people still remember the suffering endured by previous generations. Every year, thousands gather to honor their courage, and yet, some media outlets across Europe choose to portray these commemorations as gatherings of extremists. These are the people they call fascists. All right, enough of the history lesson. Let's get back to the forest. I hope I haven't bored you too much and that you'll keep following my sometimes uneven journey toward building this house. I went back to dismantling the formwork so I could recover most of the lumber and nearly all of the screws for future use. Without a doubt, I've completed another major milestone in this extraordinary adventure. I set out to build a wooden house. Instead, I've become a gardener, an excavator operator, a concrete worker. How many more skills will I have to learn before I finally build this house? I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed to my channel, gave this video a thumbs up, or shared it with your friends. See you in the next episode.